Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? Back again. Sorry, I had to hop off for a quick minute. Just had to tend to the pup. Had to take him on a quick little walk around the block, have him do his business. If you watched any of my other live streams too, you'll know that he's pretty needy. He has a bunch of allergies, so you gotta feed him medicine every morning and all that good stuff. So just took care of that. Back here, gonna hop on, finish off my follow up before I hop into some lead generation. I'm gonna do some cold calling. So, welcome back. If you have tapped into any of my other live streams previously, welcome for the first time. If this is your first time, just as a quick introduction, my name is Derek. Cover everything wholesaling real estate on this channel, specifically virtual wholesaling real estate, as I am living in California, sourcing opportunity out in Houston, Texas. I have closed two deals myself virtually out in Houston, Texas, netted 14,000, or rather grossed 14,000 in those two deals. First deal was for 12,000, split that with a JV partner. We both took down 6K. The second deal I did by myself, took down 8,000. So looking to keep it rolling here. Trying to think of any other announcements I want to make. If this is your first time and you take anything away from it and you feel like the content is beneficial, do me a favor, share it with somebody you think would benefit from the content as well. And do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe, notification button before you leave. I have a new goal for myself to hit 75 subscribers before the end of the year. We'd be on pace if we get two subscribers per day on average moving forward through the end of the year. So let's see if we can do it. Now, I wanted to finish up just cleaning up house before I get on to the follow-ups. If you were on my last live session, you'll kind of know what I'm referring to. I have a coaching program here that I'm a part of that will call you and follow up with your leads if it's something that you're wanting to entertain, right? So I plan on kind of bringing my more creative deals their way. I have a few seller finance plays or just maybe a few deals where it's like up in the air, but I'm not wanting to spend a bunch of time on it. I kind of want to focus on the lower hanging fruit for myself, quick cash offer they need to sell type of deal. That's kind of what both of my deals, the ones that I've closed thus far, have been. The first one, they were falling into foreclosure, so I was able to they hadn't gotten any notices yet, but they had fallen behind on a few payments. So they knew that they were headed down that road. So they wanted to just get ahead of it. So that was my first one. And the second one was more, he didn't tell me until afterwards, but he had a bunch of bills that he wanted to pay off and then and then he wanted to take a vacation with his wife. So that's what they were going to do. He was kind of just done being a landlord. So he liquidated, got paid, and kept it pushing. So that's kind of the deals for now, what I'm wanting to focus on. When it comes to the point where the leads are like kind of a little bit more complicated, they're going to need a little bit more nurturing. They're going to need me to stay on the phone with them for hours to try to come up with I don't know, just anything where it's not low hanging. I'm going to kick that to my coaching program where they will call the lead, try to lock it up, get it under contract, and then help JV it, help dispo it, and my coach may even buy it if it's attractive enough. So I have two right now that I wanted to send their way. I already sent the first one over, and then I'm in the process of sending the second one over right now. So I'm just going to finish up doing that real quick. Parcel number. Yeah. Bring under contract. No. Seller's asking price or contract price, 200K. Add another zero in there. Notes on asking price. Seems fairly reasonable compared to comps in the area. Is the property vacant, rented? What is the current condition of the property per conversation with the seller? What is the current condition? I don't really. Good physical condition, but may need some TLC and will be worth much more than you would pay for it, is his exact quote. So I'm going to put a quote in there and just quote him. Let me see what other type of notes I've been able to gather from him in terms of the condition. Roof is 8 years old, hardwood throughout. In the places where there's carpet tile, the original hardwood is underneath. And then I'm going to make a point of saying pictures from seller attached below. The seller's motivation, reason to sell. He has a number of properties in the Houston, Texas market, and he recently established an exclusive working relationship with a handyman in the Houston market. So he wants to sell this property in Austin so that he can continue building his portfolio in Houston. There's a time. Oh, what the hell? It just like submitted it. I have no idea why I did that. Let me type all this stuff in again. Maybe it's because I left the screen for a little bit. I don't know why the hell I just did that. I'm telling you, man, I've been running into a lot of trials and tribulations. I'm being tested right now. They sound corny, but I truly feel that I'm being tested. Anybody else in my situations, again, may sound corny, but that's truly how I feel right now. 78957. Just like so many things. I don't want to get in the habit or go down the rabbit hole of complaining about this stuff, but aside from my business, just in my life, so much stuff is it's testing me. Like I said, I'm feeling like I'm being tested. I feel like I can't give up. I feel like everything is pushing me in that direction. You know, like I said, I truly do feel like if anybody else was in my situation right now, they would have been given up. But so be it. It's all part of the game. If it was easy, everybody would do it. What's his timeline? That's a good question. Let's see if I've asked. ASAP. ASAP just wants to give his tenant a 30-day notice. So his call availability seems to be open a majority of the time. What services are you interested in? All of the above. So now what I'm going to do is bring these pictures and airdrop them to my computer so that I can upload it from the mud. Awesome. What's going on, man? Welcome. New subscriber from the mud. Appreciate you. Appreciate you jumping in here too. So don't know what you're referring to with awesome, but I'd imagine it's just what I'm doing. Talking about this gentleman. Yeah, so I'm kicking this over to my coach to see. He has a little, they call it office hours. So I'm just, yeah, I wanted to throw over anything that's not low hanging fruit, anything that I'm having to spend a bunch of time on. I'm just gonna kind of toss it over, see if they can make something happen. If not, so be it. You know, there's no harm, no foul. I can't blame them for not locking it up because I'm not locking it up myself. You know, it's just one of those things where it would be really cool, and it's kind of something where I want to implement it into my business model. Again, if it's not a low hanging fruit right now, at least if it's not low hanging fruit right now, I'm just gonna toss it their way. And I've seen them have success with um, other properties that are referred to them. So seems like a smoking deal on this one too. This one's just a little odd because the last buyer played some games with him and backed out last minute. So now he's very hesitant to move forward. West that it won't make sense. All right, now I'm going to boom, boom, boom. Select all these photos so I can upload them. Here, there it goes. Receiving 23 photos from iPhone. All right. Attachments. Choose file. Let's see if it's going to allow me to upload all 23 of these photos. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 photos. Now let me go through and grab them. They're probably going to be pissed that I'm submitting all these pictures individually. They specifically have an area to just give a Dropbox link, but whatever. It was easier for me to just do it this way. Hey, stop. All right, cool. There's that. All right. All right. Now that those are submitted, I can kind of work on my own thing now. I got a couple of follow-ups that I'm wanting to do. If you're familiar and you tapped into some of my prior live streams, you'll know that on Thanksgiving weekend, I generated a pretty hot lead. We were really close, but she just wasn't budging off of her price. And I came up so much already. And to be honest, where she was at with her numbers, it just didn't make sense. Uh, you know, it just didn't make sense. And I wasn't going to play with her. I wasn't going to agree to something and then try to renegotiate later. I didn't want to do that. So I stood firm, and she sounded like she went with somebody else. So um, last time I talked or last time I sent her text was um, the 7th of December, about 2 weeks ago. So just going to reach back out and say, hey, Marilyn. Wanted to round back about your plays on did you end up getting what you wanted for it? And she was like she's kind of rude. I mean, she's just stubborn. Yeah, it's I think the best way to. The last conversation that I had, she had called me. It was a Sunday morning. She had called me really early. I was still sleeping again because I'm 2 hours behind my market. So she had called me at like 8 a.m. It was like 6 a.m. my time. I woke up to a missed call, so I hopped right out of bed like an hour or two later and called her ASAP. And she didn't even know who I was, despite us having come to. Oh, and mind you, we had already come to a verbal agreement, and then she spent the whole week dodging me, saying that she had doctor's appointments and this and that, and she just never signed the agreement. Uh, she was playing games with me, and it was clear that she was shopping my offer around, which is exactly why I did not send her the agreement in the first place and waited for us to get on the phone so that she can sign it while I'm on the phone. And uh, so that just kind of gives you a little bit of background on that. And so I woke up, called her that Sunday morning. And this is like a week or two after we've already come to a verbal agreement. And then I called her, and then it was again clear that she had no idea who I was, and it was clear that she was talking to a bunch of other people because I called and I was like, "Hey, Marilyn, I got a missed call," and she's like, "Yeah, what's what? Hello, like who is this?" And I was like, "This is Derek. We had the verbal agreement. I'm looking to buy your house," and she was like, "Oh, are you the realtor?" I said, "No, we've come to that agreement of 145," and she goes, "Oh, can you do 150?" And I said, unfortunately, I had already come up like 30,000. I think I threw out my first offer was 115. I had her drop from 150 to 145, and I had come all the way up to 145, and 145 was like still like the numbers were so tight. If I was going to be able to assign it, I probably was only going to be able to assign it for like 2 grand, uh, based on my numbers. So I was like, you know what? Unfortunately, I can't. I've already come up so far, and it just comes to a point where it just doesn't make sense anymore. And anything beyond 145 just doesn't make sense. And she says, "Okay, bye," and hung up. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to chase her down and play the desperate game. But I still want to follow up with her every so often. People will. It's like when it's all about the numbers for sellers. I'm finding they're they're going to put themselves in a situation and a position to get screwed over because somebody will agree to the 150 even if it doesn't make sense, and then at the very last minute before they close they're going to, oh, it turns out 150 is too high, we're going to have to drop the price you know and that's just not something that I want to do. I don't want to operate unethically like that. I would much rather stay firm on my price going into it and deliver on that price, compared to uh, just agreeing to what you want and then having to renegotiate later down the road in the process. So, uh, like I said, just kind of left it at that. But I have continued to follow up with her just in case, somebody does try to play some games with her and tries to renegotiate with her and whatever the case is, Just want to at least be shooting her some text to follow up, which is what I just did. Shot her a text saying, "Hey, just wanted to round back about your place on this drive here. Did you end up getting what you wanted for it?" If she doesn't reply, I'm going to follow up with her in a week. But yeah, I mean, just the whole situation. She's not really somebody that I would like to do business with, anyways. That was it was really disrespectful to me, in my opinion. The fact that we had a verbal agreement in place and then she made a bunch of excuses throughout the week as to why she couldn't sign it. And then a week later, after she dodges me, tries to get more money out of me. And then when I tell her why I can't do that, she just says, "Okay, bye," and hangs up. That's not somebody I'm wanting to do business with. So that was the last follow up that I wanted to do on my texting platform. Now I'm going to turn to my dialer. If this is the first time you're tapping in, um, you, the reason why I do this is because I do not operate off of a central CRM. So any leads that I generate through my texting platform, I follow up with on my texting platform, like the tasks, the follow up tasks, and then vice versa. Anybody who I generate through cold calling on my dialer, I'll set my follow up task on my dialer. So, not to say that I won't call people off of my texting platform. That's just where I am reminding myself and assigning myself future tasks um, to follow up with them. So over on my dialer now, and that's what I'm referring to. I have followed up with everybody who I've wanted to follow up with. I'm current, up to date on my follow ups in my dialer. Now I'm hopping over to on my texting platform. Now I'm hopping over to my dialer. I am definitely falling behind on my dialer. I have 27 people that I can follow up with right now through my dialer. So I'm gonna try to get through these pretty quickly. I'm gonna spend the next hour or so calling these people and seeing what kind of conversations I can make happen. So before I do that, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick so I can be fresh and ready to go. All right. Okay. It's freezing in here, as always. So, something else that I've implemented recently is I just got a new app called Sideline where I'm going to dedicate to um, doing my follow ups from. So I have a lot of different numbers now. So I have like 4 or 5 caller IDs. We're in California. Located. I'm in the Bay Area. In the Bay Area, San Jose specifically. What's up, Joey Rodriguez? I don't think I've ever seen you on here. Appreciate you hopping in. Welcome. Yeah, I'm in San Jose, South Bay. Um, but to finish my thought, so I have like 4 or 5 caller IDs that rotate on my dialer. I have like 3 or 4 numbers that rotate through my texting platform. I just got the Sideline app that I'm going to use for like a dedicated line to do my follow-ups. And then I have a Google Voice number that I've been using for like my quote unquote cell phone. It has a local area code attached to it. So I had called one of my recent leads off of it, and he let me know that it popped up as spam, which is exactly what I didn't want to happen because I wanted that to be my like forever local number out there. So he's the only person that said that. I may end up just getting a new number and just kind of starting fresh. I hate to do that, but um, I at least want to have it. I haven't gotten rid of it yet because I want it there in case any of these people end up reaching back out to me. And I'm glad I didn't. I had that thought. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a new number and ditch this one. But a realtor who I had talked to back in August ended up texting me an opportunity like the next day. So I took that as a sign to hold on to the number and then just start using this Sideline number to dedicate to my follow ups. So I'm gonna do that. Calling through my these are leads that I've generated through cold calling. First talked to this woman back in August. She said she was interested in selling, but she just recently had surgery, so she wouldn't be ready to move forward with anything for another 2 or so months as she needed to recover and rehab. Ran the numbers, connected with her like a month later. I just wanted to be proactive about it, followed up with her in a month instead of like the 2 or 3 that she had recommended. And then right when I brought up the property, she hung up on me. Um, Tried calling her back right after, and it was clear that she, disconnected it before it got to voicemail. Um, Same thing. I connected with her early November. Right when I introduced myself, she hung up. Since then, I've called a few different times. So, I don't know. I'll just gonna be under the assumption that she's not wanting to deal with it at the moment, but she still wants to sell. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions and not follow up with her. But could the dialer be used on iPhone? Because I know PropStream has an app where I can calculate comps. Wondering if I can conduct the whole business with just using a mobile device. Probably, but probably I don't know if it's gonna be as efficient. But probably I don't know if Call Tools has an app. I'm sure there are dialers that have apps. I can't personally speak to any because I don't do that, but I'm sure JLeb, there's something out there. If you ever run across any deals down in SoCal and need an agent, let me know. We'll do, Joey. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. I know a couple people in here may actually be. I'm trying to think of some of my subscribers. They may actually be in SoCal, so I'll kind of just throw it out there. If anybody taps into this who's live right now or is gonna watch this after it gets posted when the stream is done, if you have any opportunities down in SoCal, Joey Rodriguez is the gentleman to connect with. Joey Rodriguez, if you'd like and you're comfortable, feel free to throw your email in the comments or something so somebody can reach out if they do have any opportunities. So I'm going to get to it, start going through these follow-ups. Like I said, I'm going to try to kind of burn through them a little bit quicker because I do have a lot. Just need to know what number I'm calling here. Okay, it's way too cold. Let me go grab the space heater before I start dialing.
Hello?
Hi, Catherine.
Hello?
Hi, this is Derek. Not sure if you
Yeah?
recall, we've been going back and forth a bit about your property over on Quail Street.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the last time we.
If I do end up selling, it's going to have to be by the middle of next year because I'm having to have a surgery.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember.
not going to be able to go anywhere.
Gotcha. I remember you mentioning that. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's just my knees.
Okay,
I
okay.
already had one knee replacement. I'm going to have another.
Gotcha.
And possibly a hip.
Oh no, okay.
Oh, yeah. So
Um,
I'm going to be stuck here for a while.
Gotcha. Is the surgery scheduled?
No, he's going to, but it's going to be after the holidays because they're all taking,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
doctors are leaving. So they're.
Yeah, absolutely. And
My one doctor's flying up to Georgia just to meet his brand new grandson.
oh, okay. Okay.
So, I mean, they're going for the holiday.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right.
And they'll be back.
So just to clarify, so you're gonna, gear up for a knee surgery probably early to mid next year, and then you're gonna want some time to recover before you end up
Oh,
selling
yeah,
it.
I'll have to. The other one took me about 5 months.
Right, right. Okay.
That's some painful stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
All the therapy you got to go through afterwards.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I hear that the therapy is honestly a little bit more strenuous than the actual surgery, huh?
Oh, yeah. You have surgery that morning and that evening, they make you get up and walk.
Oh, geez. Jeez.
I don't mean a little walk. I mean up and down the hall.
Right.
It's so painful.
Right. Okay. Well, I'd
You
love.
got to or you're stuck.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be yeah, exactly. So this is what I'd like to do if it's okay with you. I'd love to kind of just keep in touch, not only to remind you that I'm interested in possibly buying the house, but I'd love to just keep you in mind and make sure that your recovery is going according to plan and stuff like that. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a call, say like like you're saying, you're not gonna have surgery for another couple months. So how do how about I follow up around March? Is that okay?
Yeah, I know the middle of February.
Okay. Okay. I'll call you up in the middle of February then. This is my direct
Okay.
line. So, if anything changes or anything like that, feel free to save it. Again, my name is Derek. You can save it as Derek Home Buyer or however you want to save it in your phone. And if anything ever changes, please feel free to reach out. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I appreciate you taking the call. Have a happy holidays. She don't give a fuck. So I'm glad that she answered. I'm imagining she answered because I'm calling off of a different phone number. I asked because my iPhone 13 is about to arrive. Dang, lucky you, man. I need a new iPhone. I'm telling you. Drop in the comments. Guess what type of iPhone I have. You guys are gonna be like, "What the hell?" You can go get a free iPhone. Uh, Connected. Good seller. Gearing up for a knee surgery and possible hip surgery early to mid next year. Has had surgery to her other knee before and wants and is going to need time to recover post surgery before selling. I could have dug a little deeper to figure out why she even wants to sell and all that good stuff, but there's really no point because she's not going to sell until afterwards, anyways, in my opinion. So that's that. I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna. She said mid-February. Um, I'm gonna say ask about surgery plans. All right, next one. Okay, this woman. Um, this woman, if you've watched before, her name is Alice. We've come to a verbal agreement. She was hesitant to move forward because she had already come to an agreement, actually put an agreement in place with a prior investor, but the investor backed out, saying that she never participated in the process and wasn't allowing him to do certain things. And she mentioned that he was claiming that she was doing these things, but her reason behind it was that, yeah, she lives in the home, Joey. Her reason behind it, I imagine you're referring to the last one. It was owner occupied. Um, this one, Alice, she is hesitant to move forward because she came to the verbal or she came to an agreement, put an agreement in place. The other investor claimed that she wasn't participating in the process and allowing him to do, I'd imagine, like his due diligence, walk the property, all that good stuff. But she was like, I'm just always at work. I don't really have time to do those things. And on its face, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then it started to. She kept referring to the prior investor placing a lien on the property. What I'm thinking she's referring to is a memorandum that will prevent anybody else to buy the place without going through him first, which is understandable if that's if that investor was you know under the impression that she's saying he was under was, hey, look, I want to buy this place, but you're not allowing me to. Pretty much, we've come to an agreement, we've placed the agreement, but so in the beginning, I was thinking that maybe she was dealing with a bad apple and that this other investor was operating unethically and filing this memorandum unethically and just wanting to get paid out. But the more times I have followed up with her, excuse me, the more I'm starting to side with this investor, although I don't even know who he is. Um, because every time I call, she is at work, but now she's starting to dodge me. I have let her know, hey, nothing is preventing us from moving forward and getting an agreement in place. In fact, I would prefer to do it that way. That way I can then reach out to this other investor to see what it is he's expecting and what it is that he wants. But yo, any leads? REI Capital. Always leads, no contracts though. Um, and running through all my follow-ups right now. So this woman, again, we've come to a verbal agreement. Every time I've called, at first she was like, let me try to find his information. I want to try to reach out to him first to try to resolve the issue to see if he does still want to sell, because I don't want to just go through the whole process again. I had just we came to the verbal agreement of what she went under contract with the prior investor. So I understood that, She was like, if I can get a hold of him and he still wants to buy it, I'm just gonna go with that since we already have an agreement in place, all that good stuff. But every time I called, okay, it's way too cold. Even with the heater. Every time I called, she had another reason, another excuse as to why she couldn't talk. Oh, I'm at work, and I'll call her after work hours, and she'll be at home, and she'll, I no longer. I'll just read you the notes here. Connected with her October, reminded her of last conversation. She said she still hasn't heard anything from the old investor who filed the lien. She asked until the end of October, and if she doesn't hear back from him, she would call me. I followed up with her early November because I hadn't heard back, and then she said she was no longer interested. So I dug a little deeper and figured out that she's only saying that because of this lien that she keeps referring to. I'm under the assumption that it's a memorandum. She thinks that the other investor gave her a bogus company name info and that it's not even a real company. So she was saying stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this guy just unethically filed a memorandum. Followed up with her a week later. She was at work and hung up on me once something came. She was like, something came up at work. I got to go. And she hung up on me. And then she said that she would call me back. I never heard back. 2 weeks later, connected with her. She said it wasn't a good time to speak. And then I left a note for myself that I'm getting the impression that she's avoiding him, and she always seems to be busy at work when I call. Again, even when I call after typical work hours. So gonna give her a call right now. It's kind of getting to the point though where I mean I'll continue following up, but I'm gonna start pushing it out a little bit further down the road every time. Hey, Alice.
Hey,
Alice, how's it going? This is Derek.
I'm doing okay.
Good, good. Glad we were able to connect. I don't know if you recall, we've been going back and forth a little bit about your property over on Edgeworth Street.
Okay, they're still looking into it.
What is it that you're looking into, if you don't mind me asking?
They are looking at, they're trying to find the man. I think I talked to the last one. They're trying to find the man. They said they can't really do nothing about it because they're trying to find Mr. Turbo. He's the one that we get the property from. And he, while we was paying for the property, I think he gives someone, a company, half of the property. Like he put a what you call it, a lien. Yes, he gave a company, and they look into it and they can't find the company. They cannot find the company nowhere. So they were trying to speak to him. He's in New York. They speak to his wife, and so his wife had gave them the number for them to speak with him. So that's what he's going through right now. And I think he said they're going to probably have a lawyer. They probably have to go to court and ask the court to, take, because the company and exists.
Gotcha. So yeah,
that's what is going on.
I remember this, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but you had come to an agreement to sell him your property, correct?
Well, yes, if they had fine, they fine, they do the work for me. But that's the only thing that we're going to know. But my husband is saying it's taking too long that he don't want to sell the property no more.
So
we're going to too much.
Yeah. So he never paid you for the property?
Cool. No.
Okay, but you still live there.
No, I'm not living where the property. The property is rental. Someone is living in it.
Gotcha. Okay. And now I'm sorry, I don't know if I understood this correctly. You're saying that the gentleman had placed a lien on your property because he had done some work to the place?
No, while we was paying for it, I think I don't know what happened, but I know he had given a company. Maybe he borrowed money and water and everything. That company put a loan on the property. So they is trying to find that property. Even he gave me the name of the property, and I don't have it with me because I'm at work right now. I'm at break. That's what I'm talking to.
Okay.
And I can't find the property. We can't find the company, so they cannot find that company. So they're trying to get in touch with him through his wife to ask. I know one time I had called his brother, and last week I called his brother, and I explained to his brother, and his brother was telling me, no, Miss Graham, that he don't understand. Is no loan and it's no lien on the property and nothing like that. If I want to sell it, I could sell it. So I was explaining to him what happened, and he said not as fast as he knows, because when they look up the property address and everything and stuff like that, is a lien on the property, and that's that company. So we don't, I don't know, but the last thing they told us, they're trying to get in touch with Mr. Turber. If not, the lawyer gonna go to court and ask the judge to throw it out.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what we waiting on.
Okay. So who is looking? It sounds like somebody else is handling this for you.
Yeah, somebody else is handling it.
Do you mind me asking who is reaching or who is trying to reach out to this individual?
Oh, I think it's her. I don't. It's an American. I don't know if it's American title.
Oh, okay.
It's a loan. Yeah, it's a loan company. I don't have the information with me right now.
Okay. Well, how about this? What I'd like to do is I'd like to stay in contact. It sounds like you're still trying to sort everything out. Why don't I give you a call in like the beginning of next year to see if you've gotten any results or if you brought it to court or anything like that?
That's a good idea, because my husband said it was taking too long. You got to go out the country to wait by next year. If they don't get it by the end of the month, we can just forget about everything and see, to find someone else that they could really tell us what's going on and what's going on, because that's the only thing that we're waiting on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll do that then. I'll set myself a little reminder to give you a call in the beginning of next year, and hopefully you'll have an update for me.
Next year, yeah, because we give them until the ending of the month.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'll reach back out early next year. Have a good rest of your year. Okay.
Okay. You too.
Bye now.
Bye.
I pulled this up in PropStream as we were talking. It sounds like, or it seems like, I hate to say it, but it seems like they took the property. Now I'm like, I don't know. She doesn't know, so she can't communicate it to me like effectively, and I'm just led to like be under the assumption and jump to my own conclusions. But I looked up in PropStream, and it says that a gentleman now under the name of Francisco owns the property and has owned the property for 1 month, and that title was transferred at the end of October, early November. So I hate to say it, but it sounds like the lien was legit. Maybe like a mechanic's lien. I can't really understand her. It's a little difficult to understand her, but based on my interpretation of that conversation, is the lien was legit and they took the property because her name is no longer on title. So I will monitor it. I will set myself just a little follow up. But in all likelihood, this is a done deal. And I hate to say it, but again, doesn't seem like she's going to prevail in any type of legal battle. And of course, she was at work on her break, per usual. It just so happens that every single time I call her, she's on her break, despite, regardless of what time I call her or anything like that. Connected with seller, mentioned they are trying to get a hold of the individual still, and that possibly American Title is doing the digging to find out information. She said they are going to give them until the end of the year to resolve it, and if not, they want to cancel it. She mentioned possibly going to court over it in hopes of a judge throwing it out. However, PropStream shows that a new gentleman took title to the property at the end of October 2021 and has owned it for 1 month. This leads me to believe that the quote-unquote lien was legit and that the property was possibly foreclosed on. add if that is the case. But she has really nobody to blame but herself. If to be quite honest, that doesn't surprise me. The way that she's been treating our conversations and the situation, she wants to continue deferring. She wants to continue kicking the can down the road. And if that lien was legit, that guy was not willing to kick it down the road anymore. Like, hey man, I've given you so much time. I either want to get paid for the lien or I'm going to take the property. And based off of just at a glance, it seems like he took the property. So, or foreclose on the property, whatever the case is. I don't know. She's no longer on title. Title transferred at the end of October. Um, I'll call her at the end of January. I'm going to see. Check prop stream to see who's on title. Who else can you use to pull info instead of prop stream? You can run it like a preliminary title search, but I don't like to hassle my title company with that, especially with somebody like this. Um, you know, who it's one thing if I'm bringing my title company like a crazy amount of business and it's just like kind of a drop in the bucket. Like, yeah, sure, we'll run a little quick title search for you, Derek. I don't mind. You pay us plenty, because you're bringing us so much opportunity. But I really don't. So I don't want to burden them with that, uh, especially again in a case like this where it's one thing if they run a preliminary title search and then I end up getting the deal and bringing it to them. It may happen on this. I highly doubt it though. Um, now that all this has kind of been uncovered, but yeah, I would. That's the only other way that I know REI is to just have your title company run like a preliminary title search if they're willing to do that. Getting a bunch of texts back here. Again, if you are familiar, my texting gets sent out day 1, day 2, and day 3. The first 3 days from when I initially add them to the campaign here. So a bunch of texts have just been going on as I've been doing these follow-ups. So I have been getting some responses, nothing favorable, just a bunch of no's and stuff. But again, I like to cross-reference and just remove those people from my dialer so that I don't end up cold calling them. So I'm going to do that real quick. So funny, that woman. We have like the same conversation every single time. I just think that's so funny that I mentioned all the things that I mentioned, and then she said like exactly what I was talking about. I'm at work. I'm at, I'm on break. We're gonna give them till the end of the year. It's like the same exact conversation. Can you use HAR to make offers? I don't know. I'm not familiar with HAR really. I just know that it's another outlet for me to find some information and possibly see some pictures if it's been listed on market. I'm not too familiar with HAR really. That would be more so a question for a realtor. Kian Edis says, Julio, I'm going to say I'm a local home buyer. Actively buying in Houston. Have you ever considered selling address? I would go through the hassle of translating that on Google, but I'm not really. If he was like, who is this? Yes, I want to sell. I would have done that, but this person says stop. So this isn't the type where I'm going to remove them from my dialer. For all I know, that's not even the right person. So unless they're like, no, we're not interested in selling this house, and gives me a little bit more context as to like that leads me to believe that it is in fact the right person and that they're not interested in selling. If it's not as clear as that, then I'm not going to remove them from my dialer. If they just say no, I'm not going to remove them from my dialer. If they say stop, stop texting me, anything like that, I'm not going to remove them. Here's another one. Jorge says stop. Julio says, okay, so Jorge says never stop. So in that case, I would remove them from the dialer because he's responding never to, he would never sell his property. I'll remove him. And Julio just texted me asking if I speak Spanish. So what I'm going to do is pull up Google Translate and say, come on now. And say, I do not, but I can translate like this. Do you want to sell your property? I found that translations are a little bit more accurate when you're just direct about it in English. If that makes sense. Like if I try to say like, have you ever considered possibly selling your property? It's not going to translate as accurately. So it may sound a little too direct and blunt, but I've just found that it's a little bit more accurate that way. So I'll text him, and if he says yes, then this is somebody who I'm going to toss over to Jared and his girl to possibly reach out. Is assessed value the same? Appraised value, based on my understanding, on PropStream, yeah. I mean, it's like the tax assessed value. If it were to get appraised today, it's likely going to be different than the tax assessed value. But for the most part, yeah. Alejandro said yes in Spanish. I'm getting a lot of Spanish right now. I'm gonna translate this as well. So Julio says no, thank you. No thanks, it's not for sale. I had to translate that real quick. So I'll say tag him not interested. I'll remove him from my dialer. Don't actually see him in my dialer, so it's all good there. 100 said yes in Spanish. I'm going to say, okay. I can have somebody reach out to talk to you in Spanish. Before I do that, I just wants to confirm that you are interested in selling your property. AC Ringer, what's up? How long did it take you to close your first deal? Well, that's a complicated question. I had started really marketing in like Okay. So I started with two partners, me and two other guys. We didn't start making calls until like end of 2021, like really like November. Um, well, we started dialing or calling it like in like September, but we were just kind of like messing around. We really weren't doing it crazy. We did that till like November, and then at that point, one of my partners dropped off. So then it was just me and another one of my partners. We took it a little bit more seriously starting November, but even then, we were still just hand dialing. I think in the beginning of, or sorry, 2020, and the beginning of 2021, we got a dialer, and still we're just on a single line dialer, so really weren't putting up crazy numbers. And then come like March or April, we switched over to the Oh no, we were still in the single line dialer. Come March or April, he quit as well. So then I started going solo. And then in like May or June, I got the triple line dialer. And then I really started taking it seriously in like June or July. And then I got my first contract end of July. So you could say like 6 months or something like that. And then that one closed about 45 days later, 60 days later. Um, and then in that time, before that one closed, I was able to get another contract. So I closed my first deal the end of August, and then my second deal the end of September. And I am yet to get any more contracts, but I'm getting a lot of leads. Just really kind of jamming the pipeline so that hopefully one of these is going to squeeze out pretty soon. So I just had somebody to might be able to help with a buyer if you still need it. I'm just seeing these now with one of my leads in the Austin market, not in Houston, the market that I'm working. I had reached out to my group, my coaching program, and asked if anybody was working the Austin, Texas market. One person said might be able to help with a buyer if you still need it, and then another person tagged somebody else. So definitely some opportunity there. That's somebody who I had referred over to my coaching program, and they're going to give them a call tomorrow morning, hopefully, or within the next few days. All right. I'll wait to see what Alejandra says about reaching out to her in Spanish. Just wanted to double check if she was, in fact, interested in selling before I refer that over to Jared. Wow, I have a similar story. Started with two friends last summer. They both didn't take it as serious as I did, and we all soon went to college, so I started solo. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. College. I wish I got started that young. I graduated back in 2015. College. I quit my job in March 2020 to give you a little more context. Just really stressed out, really anxious. The job was very poor for my mental health. I was working in insurance. I haven't been able to contact any sellers recently, though. I need to get back on the grind for sure. Keep the marketing going. Hop over to these. God, I got a little frog in my throat. This gentleman I spoke with back in June may be interested in selling in the near future. Derek informed him of benefits, seemed to like them all, asked for a text with information so that we can continue talking as he was leaving work. He was like, "Oh, I remember this conversation." He was like, "Work's just going crazy nowadays." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I get it." But he just started to dodge me and ghost me after that. So I ran some numbers a while ago on this, about a month ago. I was going to be able to offer him somewhere between 70 to 110. So I'll give him a call, see if I can connect. Gosh, this is an area that I like. This is an area where I did my first deal. Very familiar with the numbers and stuff. So looks like numbers have been pushed up since then. Something sold for over 200,000, which was pretty unheard of back when I ran these numbers. Yeah, so I have ARV on this one being like 190. I think just on a quick glance, that seems to be pretty accurate still. I don't see anything that has sold really within the last, you know, 30 days that would alter that. So I'll give him a call.
Hello.
Hey, Jared.
Nice calling.
Yeah, this is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we spoke a while back, probably in June or July, about your property over on Armour Avenue out in Pasadena.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to round back. I know at the time you had kind of mentioned that there was a little bit of interest, but you weren't quite sure of when you were wanting to actually move forward. So I just wanted to round back, see if you've given it any more thought, and seeing if
Man,
selling.
I thought about it. It's just, man, just been busy working 6 days a week at work. Doesn't really have it on my mind right now. But,
Yeah, I hear you.
So,
Yeah. Now, just a quick question, if you don't mind me asking, is this a property that you currently live in yourself, or is this kind of a rental for you?
no, it's my house.
Okay. All right. Now, I mean, did you have any idea of when you think that you might be willing to move forward on it and kind of?
I want to see what happens after the first year.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, why don't I do that then? I'll kind of set myself a little reminder if you don't mind. I can follow up early next year after kind of the holiday season's over here, so that hopefully we can start fresh and maybe further the conversation and see if I may be able to help you out.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, I
Have a good
appreciate.
Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, same to you. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. I'm having that conversation with a lot of people. I don't want to force the issue. You know, people are. It's only another 2 weeks that he's asking for a call back, so. Uh, I don't want to, come across as too salesy and try to force it down their throat. uh, Connected on stay call. Owner occupied. If it was a rental or anything other than owner occupied, I was getting ready, gearing up to try to kind of further the conversation because what is really dealing with it. It's one thing to sell a rental because in that case, I would be able to help him out in all aspects to where it's really a hands-free process for him. But the fact that it's owner occupied, he would have to find a new place to move to. We'd have to come to a lot more agreements than just price, whether or not he was going to want to lease back, stay in the property, all that good stuff. Help with moving, if need be. So I can understand it. He doesn't want to deal with it right now. He mentioned again that he's working 6 days a week. He doesn't really want to. He doesn't have time to really deal with it, especially with the holidays approaching. So I'll give him a call early next year, a couple weeks from now. Go from there. Give him a call on the 7th. He seemed to remember me though, which was nice. That's always reassuring, so that I'm just kind of top of mind when he does come to the decision or come to the conclusion that he's wanting to move forward on it. So that's that. On to the next one. This guy. This guy, same thing, owner occupied. He really doesn't want to deal with it. And I knew that that's what it was. He never specifically told me that he didn't want to deal with it. But every time I brought it up, he was like, oh, yeah, I want to sell. And then at one point, I would say this. I was like, I don't think he wants to deal with it. And then finally he was like, I mean, yeah, I want to sell. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with everything that comes along with it. He doesn't want, because this one's owner occupied as well. He doesn't want to deal with the move. He doesn't want to deal with finding a new place. He doesn't want to deal with all this stuff. So um, I'm gonna call him again. But seems like the last time I tried calling about a month ago that the first two numbers that I have for him were disconnected, and then the third number went straight to voicemail. So that may be the case here. I'll find out. Give it a few more rings. Yeah.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Yeah. So I might have to just hang this one up or figure out some other way to market to him. Because that's the number that I've been talking to him on. Not gonna really waste any time with that guy. All right, this next one, pretty frustrating. This gentleman, his name is Harry. I spoke with the mom first. The mom let me know that it's going to be a full rehab, full gut rehab. Um, then I started talking with the son about it because she deferred to her son. Her son agreed, yeah, it's going to be a full rehab. And he let me know that he is the primary caretaker right now for both his mom and his grandmother. His mom needs like a kidney transplant. And the grandmother has early onset dementia. So he's like the primary caretaker for the both. I had made an offer at one point, offer range of 40 to 50,000, and he seemed interested, but he wanted to run it by his cousin because his cousin had just done a bunch of work to the property, and he didn't want to insult his cousin, um, by selling it for some little amount when the cousin just did a good amount of work to it. I don't know what a good amount of work is if they're telling me it needs a full gut remodel, but I understood that, right? He was like, I just don't want to insult the guy. I don't want him to finish doing the work and then for me to sell it at like a dirt cheap. But he was like, he understood that 40-50 was like a pretty good price based on the fact that it needed a full gut remodel and I needed to make a little bit of profit. And then I called it's difficult because I called him on their landline. So at one point I had called and the mother had answered again. And let me take a step back. At one point when I was talking to Harry, the gentleman, he was like, my mom thinks for some reason we can get 150,000 for it. I know that that's not the case. I have ARV on this at 135. So even fully fixed up, they wouldn't be able to get 150. So I had offered 40 to 50 for a full gut rehab. I think even then it's a little high. I think 40 is probably like my max. Yeah, I would have to be like 45 max, I think. So I'm just gonna call back, see if I can. I've been calling back and I've been trying to just get a hold of Harry, the gentleman. I don't, um, looks like they're on the federal do not call. Whatever. Not telling you to do it if you see that, but for me, I keep my own internal DNC log. I don't scrub against DNC. In the future, I plan to scrub against litigators. But again, these are people that I've talked to before, and you know, I'm calling them off a different number, granted, but it's still a conversation that if I mention who I am, he should likely remember it, who I am. So giving him a call now. Hopefully, I can get a hold of him and not the mother, because the mother was like, "Oh," so I called, and then the mother answered, and she was like, "Yeah, 150." I was like, "Oh, okay." Didn't know how to really respond to that.
Hello, we are not available now. Please, your name and phone.
I left a voicemail a few weeks ago. I'm not going to leave a voicemail now. Um, I'm going to pull this up in PropStream to make sure that I haven't missed out on the opportunity, and they do in fact still own the place. And they own like 3 properties, and there was confusion as to whether or not they even wanted to. Yeah, so he's on title. Harry's on title. They own like 3 places, and since everybody in the family was going through health issues, they were trying to determine what was going to be best for them. We're going to move we're going to move the mom in with Harry at this property. The grandmother is going to live in this property as well, and they didn't know which property it was going to be that they chose to live in themselves. There was a lot of moving parts to that lead there, but um, again, the fact that I had offered him 40 to 50 at one point in time and he seemed open to it, will it's just giving me enough reason to continue following up. But I made a note to myself that I am trying to get a hold of Harry and not Carolyn, the mother. Because, yeah, I had, again, called at one point and I was like, "Hey, Carolyn, this is Derek. We talked about the place." And she was like, "Yeah, 150." And I was like, "Oh, um, I was talking to Harry at one point." She goes, "No, 150." I was like, "Okay, well, let me see if I'd be able to do that. And if it's not 150, don't bother calling back." Like super rude about it, and I was like, "Okay." Um, so I'm trying to get a hold of Harry, not Carolyn. All right. Another gentleman here connected with him, mentioned not right now, but maybe in future. At one point, I connected with the wife, said that she needed to speak with the husband, and I haven't been able to get a hold of either of them since then. So just going to call and kind of revisit the conversation if I can't get a hold of somebody. Hi, is this Mr. Perez?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, my name is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random. We had spoken a while back, actually, in regards to your property over on Sweetbriar Street.
Are you looking to purchase?
Yeah, possibly if you're looking to sell.
No, not at the moment, though. I thought about it over.
Oh, okay. You think maybe in the near future at all?
Possibly, yeah. I'm retiring on, so, but right now, I actually definitely, near future, no, but maybe like 10 years from now, possibly.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call, and I hope you have a happy holidays.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, bye now.
Bye-bye.
So he changed his mind. That's all I need to know. He's talking 10 years plus, so I'm taking him off. Connected with seller, said he thought it over and decided not to sell, thinking 10 plus years out. Going to save that and remove him. Here is another Mr. Perez that I talked with back in July, connected with sellers, and maybe in the near future. I received permission to follow up every 3 to 6 months. It has been how long? 8, 9, 10, 5 months since then. I tried following up uh, last month with no success, so I will try him back right now.
We're sorry. All circuits are busy now. Please try your call again later.
Don't really know what that means. No opportunity to leave voicemail. Kick this out another month. Gentleman Alberto, talked with him back in June, said maybe in the future. When asked how long, he said probably a few years. I'll save your number and you'll be the first one I call. I called him 5 months after that. Didn't answer, didn't leave a voicemail. Um, Called him a month after that. No answer. And now here I am about a month after that. So I'm going to give him a call, see if he's given it any more thought.
Bueno,
Hey, Alberto.
yes.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we had spoken probably 6 or so months ago about your property over on Hamilton Lane out in Pasadena.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm still on the same thing. I don't intend to sell right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea possibly of when you think you would be interested?
Not really, man. No. About this time, no.
No.
Maybe I'm not sure. Probably next year. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, completely understand. Would it be okay if I followed up maybe in 6 months just to round back, see if you've given it any more thought?
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect. I appreciate you taking the call. Have a happy holidays.
Okay. You too.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Connected with seller, not wanting to sell now, but mentioned maybe sometime next year. Receive permission to follow up in 6 months. I will follow up in 3. Early March. All right, this gentleman Patrick, connected with him in August, said he's not interested in selling because it sounds like his tenants are looking to buy it. Putting this on a 3-month follow-up to track the tenant's progress on moving forward. Called him mid-November, didn't answer. Called him a couple weeks after that, didn't answer, but I did leave a voicemail, so I'm going to call him again right now. What I'm going to do is pull up a prop stream to see if he's still on title. about 99.99999% of the time, based on my understanding, the tenants will never buy the property. So he is still untitled. Give him a quick call. It's almost just like a way for them to dismiss you and to like let you off easy, telling you that they don't want to sell, but take their word for it.
Hello?
Hey, Patrick.
Yes.
Patrick, how's it going? This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we had spoke back a few months ago in regards to your property over on Cedarwood Drive.
Yeah, I'm not interested in selling it.
Okay.
What you calling about?
Yeah. Last time we talked, you had let me know that your tenants were possibly looking to move forward on buying the place. So I just wanted to round back, seeing if they had made any progress on that.
Yeah, they're working on their stuff. They're gonna end up buying it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I appreciate you taking the call. Have a happy holidays.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
All right.
All right,
Bye now. I don't think they're going to actually buy it. I think, again, that's just his way of telling me no. You know what I mean? Because he's not. He's alluding to. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You can kind of just hear it. You can hear it in his voice, right? He's not interested in selling it. And then, like, I gave him his excuse pretty much. Like, yeah, you had mentioned that the tenants are buying it, yada yada. And he's like, yeah, they're gonna buy it. It's like, okay, if he has so much confidence in his tenants, so be it. But you know what I mean. Connected with seller, said he's not interested, and he is very confident that the tenants will end up buying it. That's what he said last time. They're working on their credit. They're getting their credit checked. They're doing this. They're doing that. But that was back August 16th that he said it. So here we are 4 months later. No progress on the tenants. It doesn't sound like he's really caring that the tenants are dragging their feet, if that's actually what's happening. But if I had to guess, that's not even really what's happening. He's just wanting to let me off easy. But the fact that he told me he's not interested, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the follow-up, so I'm not going to continue following up with him. Asked for a call back in a year to a year and a half, this person said. That was back in June, so here we are 6 months later. December 1st, no answer. I'm not going to call him right now. I'm going to kick this out to early next year. Stated maybe next year. Spanish speaker, but understood a bit of English. That was back in July, so I'll call him now.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 95627.
Ooh, you guys thought you were getting it. Hi, this message is for Mr. Perez. My name is Derek. Don't know if you recall, we had spoken back uh, about 6 months ago in regards to your property over on Lindenville Drive. You had let me know that you weren't interested in selling at that point in time, but that you were possibly interested in selling next year. So just wanted to round back, seeing if you've given it any more thought. And if you were possibly interested in selling, I'd love to connect and learn a bit about the property to see if we may be a good fit. If you'd like, you can give me a call back at this number if it seems like something that you might be interested in. And I hope you have a happy holidays. Talk to you soon. I don't have this number. I need to write this number down. Usually I'll leave my callback number in the voicemail, but this is a new number. Push that out a month, bi-weekly. This is Mr. Sanchez. This is somebody who I generated through texting way long ago when I didn't even know what I was doing. He asked for 50,000, and the way he responded to the text, I was like, "Oh, this guy's asking for way too much." But then when I went to go revisit it, I was like, "Wait, this is a smoking deal." And then it just fizzled out, and he ended up no longer wanting to sell. So I'm just gonna round back, see if he's given it any more thought. It's a double wide lot, double lots. Last asking price was 75,000, which I think is appropriate. I think I'd be able to assign this for 50 per lot, if I remember correctly. Maybe like 40 per lot. I can't remember. He owns a few properties, this being one of them. So, and it's listed as vacant on PropStream. Give him a call.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message
I'll leave him a
system.
voicemail.
Yes, this is Richard Sanchez. I'm away from the phone right now, but if you leave a brief message, I will return your call as soon as possible.
Is not available.
Hey, Mr. Sanchez, this is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we went back and forth a while ago about your property over on Majestic Street. At the time, you had mentioned that you weren't interested in selling, but had kind of given me permission to follow up in the future just in case anything had changed. So that's what I'm doing now. Just wanted to round back, seeing if you've given it any more thought. If you are interested, we do have some cash on hand, and we are looking to pick up a property within the next, 30 to 60 days here. So if it's something that you may be interested in, please feel free to give me a call back. Again, my name is Derek, and my direct line here is 832. Talk to you soon. Uh-huh. Push that out monthly. At one point, he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna." He said, stated maybe next year. Last time we talked. I'm pretty sure it's just a vacant lot though. Talked with this person back in January of 2021. Property is rented month to month. 2 more. Oh wow, this is a lead that one of my cold callers. I had hired a cold caller, two cold callers at one point, just like getting way in over my head. And this is actually a lead that one of them generated. Properties rented month to month. I don't really understand the notes that the caller left. Rent amount is 1,400. Water is dripping. Needs to replace the roof. Maintained but not in good shape. No problem for electric and plumbing. Reason for selling is if the price is right. So it's not really a motivated seller here. 180 ballpark. Got equity loan 20,000. Needs callback. I ran the numbers. I would be like 130 to 140. 140, my max allowable. I have ARV at 230. These were numbers that I ran about 2 months ago, so it may have increased since then. Assuming that it hasn't, let me just make sure that I have estimated rehab at about 40,000. So yeah, I would need to be at like 130 max. He's asking for 180. I connected with him in August. Still no intention of selling right now, but gave me permission to follow up in 6 months. So it's been 4 months since then. So I'm gonna give him a call back. I have a good feeling about this call right now.
Please leave your message for
Visa Wong.
Hey, Mr. Wong. This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, but we spoke a few months ago in regards to your property over on Pleasant Trail out in Fresno. You had let me know when we last spoke that you didn't have any intention of selling at that moment, but said that you still might consider maybe in the near future. So I just wanted to round back with you, see even if you've given it any more thought. If you have and you wanted to reconnect, you can feel free to give me a call at my direct line here, which is 832. Or two within the next 30 to 60 days. So again, if that isn't something that you may be interested in, feel free to give me a call at 832-532. That threw me off. I was getting a call while I was leaving the voicemail. I thought maybe it was him calling me back, but it was from a crazy different number. And it's nobody that I have called today. I got this number off this app Sideline, and I've been getting a lot of inbound calls. I would just imagine that this is a number that somebody else had used in the past. So I do kind of get random calls here and there. Just clicking through here, through my text messages that have been going out. A bunch of ringless voicemails just got dropped. That looks good though. Dialed left voicemail. Connected with the owner, stated that he did not have time and asked that I follow up with a text him an offer if he wanted to throw one out. Hung up before I could say anything else. I remember this phone call too. He was like, "Yeah, text me an offer if you want." And I click, hung up. So doesn't necessarily seem like somebody who's very. I'm not gonna call this person. I'm trying to get on the phone with somebody who actually wants to sell here. So I connected with this person yesterday. Um, on a cold call, and he automatically was like, "How much?" And I gave him my typical canned response to that, "How much? What's up, man? What's going on?" Just hitting some follow ups right now, trying to clear my past two follow ups. So connected with this person yesterday on just a cold call. He said, "How much?" I said, "Well, let me tell you. This is what I've been saying." I said, "Wait, well, let me tell you. It's my partner and myself. We do have some cash on hand. We're looking to buy one or two more properties within, the next 30 to 60 days here. Obviously, we've never been on the inside of your property there. So we would just need to learn a little bit about the current condition of the interior before making an offer. So did you have a few moments to discuss so that I can learn a little bit about it?" And he had said that he was at work and asked me to call back tomorrow after 7 a.m. So it's 3 p.m. It didn't sound like he was working at all today, so I just wanted to give him a call back right now and see if I can open up the conversation a little bit more.
We're sorry. All circuits are busy now. Please try your call again later.
I don't know what that means. It's the second time I've gotten that today. Filed, no opportunity to leave voicemail. First one. Tenants in place, not considering at the moment, will consider after the tenant is out, gave permission to follow up and stay in contact. He doesn't know when the tenant's lease is up. That makes it a little difficult. Trying to find somebody who I think would actually answer and have the conversation open up a bit. Okay. So this gentleman, Jesse, I had spoken with, and he said, I connected with him first back in May. He said the tenant is going to buy it again. The tenant never buys it. If anything ever changes, he'll let me know. Connected with him months later. He mentioned that his tenant did not end up buying the place, but he asked for call back in 30 minutes. So I called him back in 30 minutes. I left him a voicemail because he didn't answer. Called him 2 weeks later, spoke with him, said he wants to give his tenant the benefit of the doubt because they have been there for 10 years. But near the end of the year, him and his wife want to make a decision one way or another. Derek received permission to follow up a little before year's end. So I'm going to give him a call right now, seeing if him and his wife have given it any more thought. He's owned this property for 11 years. Haven't run comps or anything like that. I'll give him a call.
Hello, Jesse.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going? This is Derek.
Good. How's it going, Derek?
Doing well. Not sure if you recall, we've been going back and forth a bit about your place over on Parr Lane out in Richmond.
Right.
Yeah, and remember last time we spoke, I know that your tenants are going through the process of seeing and doing the checks to see if they're able to buy that place, and you had mentioned that you want to, give them the benefit of the doubt. But that it was going to come to a point where you and your wife were going to make a decision one way or another. So just wanted to reconnect, see if you and your wife have given it any more thought, and see, if go on.
Yeah, we definitely have. And we're still going to give them an opportunity, give them until the end of the first month of the year.
Sure.
To get everything they need.
Sure.
And if that doesn't happen, we're gonna go ahead and move forward.
Gotcha. All right.
And,
yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Is it all right then if
like I said, only because they've been great tenants.
Right. Yeah.
I've had them in there for 10 years, so
absolutely.
That's just the right thing to do. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, if they do end up, that'd be great. Mine, it seemed like it'd probably be even smoother for you if they do move forward because they're already living there. So
Yeah. I mean, I want easy and smooth transition.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Exactly.
That's what I'm looking for. So either if I go with them or with you guys, I want to make sure it's going to be a smooth. And I want to be transparent. I want you guys to be transparent with me as well.
Absolutely.
I don't want any surprises as we go. So
absolutely.
That's the plan at this point after discussing it with the wife.
Sure. All right. Yeah, and just to reassure.
I appreciate you following up with it, man.
Absolutely, and just to kind of reassure you, that's definitely what we're looking for as well. Smooth transition, smooth transaction. We try to do our very best to be as transparent as possible. With that cash offer, we are able to do that. We don't have to jump through as many hoops since we do have cash on hand, as opposed to having to go get a loan and stuff. So, if it's all right with you, I'd love to follow up, like you're saying, kind of towards the end of January to see how things are moving with the tenant.
Sounds good.
All right.
We'll do that,
Perfect. I appreciate you taking the call. Have a happy holidays and a good New Year's.
You do the same, but
all right. Talk soon. Yeah, that guy's cool. I like talking with him. He is, like he's saying, he just doesn't want any funny business, and it sounds good to me. I'm not looking to have any funny business. Connected with seller, talked it over with his wife, going to give their tenants till the end of January to make a move. If not, they are going to explore their options. Seller mentioned that he wants a very smooth transition regardless, and Derek reassured him that he wants the same. Derek received permission to follow up towards the end of January to see if the tenants have moved forward. I even mentioned to him in the past, like, if the tenants are as good as he's making them out to be, we may even want to just keep them in place, right? Um, by no means are we in the business of kicking anybody out on the street. I don't know if I've said that to you before, but it's kind of a canned response that I like to throw out because it's the truth. We don't want to. The last thing that I want to do is buy a place and then have somebody be out on the street, right? So even if we don't end up keeping the tenants in place, we like to try to help them out in any regard, connecting them with a realtor to find a new place, coughing up some money possibly to help them with moving expenses. In the past, we have, and this is something that I'm going to mention to him in the future. In the past, we've even, helped with a rent in a storage unit. With having the tenants transition into their new place, right? So there's a lot of different things that we can help out with. And just want to reassure him of that. He's very appreciative that I continue following up, which is really cool, right? I don't feel like I'm hassling him. Um, so, and it doesn't seem like, based off all the conversations I have with that guy, it doesn't seem like he's really talking to anybody else. So that's a good one. Gonna set that out. For the end of January. If so, begin pre-qualifying. Reassure him of the fact that Eric wants to do right by the tenant as well. Refer to the help that Eric can extend to the tenant. Parentheses, cash for keys. I won't refer to it as cash for keys, but moving expenses is what I would refer to it as. Storage unit, realtor helping find a new place, etc. They've been there. So the guys own the property for 11 years. The tenant's been there for 10. So he just wants to do right by them. If you heard him mention, he was like, I want to continue, I want to give them a chance. It's just the right thing to do. But he mentioned this on the last phone call. He says, but it's going to come to a point where, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to put my foot down, and me and my wife are going to have to explore our options. We can only give them so much time. So I'm going to follow up with him like the 27th of January. And this is something I think a good takeaway too. I try my very best to have the seller's best interest in mind. So when I said, I didn't say this time. I said this on another conversation with him. I said, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you, because if the tenants end up buying it, this is what I said this time. If the tenants end up buying it, sounds like it'd probably be a lot of a smoother process for you since they already live there, right? So, and me saying that, it lets him know that I'm not some snake that's on the other end. Other people may say, well, how long are you going to give them? The tenants, they seem to be dragging their feet, or he's already told me that he knows that it's going to come a point in time where he can no longer give them any more time. So I don't want to say that, I want to just be on his side about it. Hey, I want what is best for you and what's going to be most convenient for you. Right. And in all honesty, the tenant buying the place is going to be most convenient for him. He doesn't have to do anything. They already live there. They already have all their stuff in there. He doesn't have to do anything. He just needs to collect the money. But by me taking that position, it's like I'm on his side, right? I'm not just somebody who's trying to strong arm him and convince him that the tenant's never going to buy the place. Although I know that in the back of my head, I'm not going to verbalize that. I'm not going to try to force that upon him, right? I'm just going to say, hey, absolutely. You got to do right by the tenants. Be on his side about it. Agree. And it's going to come a point in time where I'm going to continue following up, and he's going to say, yeah, you know what? We're ready to move forward. And then at that point, in all honesty, it's not even going to be about the money, right? As long as I effectively communicate to him why I'm offering him what I'm offering him, he'll likely take it, you know, because I've been following up. He appreciates that I've been following up, staying proactive about it. And again, I'm sure he appreciates me taking his side on things and not strong arming him and trying to coerce him into signing an agreement if that's not something he's wanting to do right now, so that when it comes time for us to actually have that conversation, it's gonna be me and him versus the market, not me versus him, right? And you'll hear the gurus say this, like, it's got to be you and the seller versus the market. I'm only able to offer you what I'm able to offer you because of what the market is telling me, and then I just plug it into my formula. We're going to be able to sell it for this on the back end. I got to take into account cost of renovations, cost of commissions, cost of fees and title fees and doc fees and all these miscellaneous costs, closing costs. And then I have to carve out a little chunk for profit. By no means am I looking to hit the lottery, but I do this full time and we got to make a profit. So it comes up there comes there with that formula, there's a bottom line that's established, and or rather a top line that's established, and I just am unfortunately I'm unable to offer any more than that, or else it doesn't make sense because of all the costs associated with flipping this property. And again, by building the relationship the way that I am, I'm very confident that when it comes to that point in time and I communicate it to him effectively, he will be in agreement. And it doesn't even really matter what I offer him because I've been on his side this whole time. So why would he think that only at the very last moment when we're talking price am I going to take advantage of him? Because I haven't shown any signs of taking advantage of him throughout the course of this relationship thus far. Why would he think that I'm getting ready to take advantage of him when it comes to price, right? So that's my tidbit for the day, and I think that it's a good one because a little goes a long way. Essentially, is what I'm saying in that the little follow up, the quick conversations that we're having, me saying, "Hey, do what's best for you," goes a long way. That's essentially what I'm saying. Do what's best for you. 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 And then when he says, you know what, we want to sell it to you. And I say, I'm going to be able to offer this. The underlying message in that is going to be do what's best for you. We're not the best fit for everybody. And that's where the pullback comes in. Hey, we're not the best fit for everybody. This is why I'm able to offer what I'm able to offer. If that doesn't seem like it's aligned with what is best for you and your wife, I urge you to explore your options. I know that I'm not the only guy out here that's looking to buy properties. So go ahead, talk, ask around, see if anybody's willing to offer you more. And if it seems like not only they're willing to offer you more, but they're going to do it the way that you want it to be done, the smooth transition that we've been talking about, by all means, do that. Take that offer. I am, again, I'm on your side. I want what's best for you. And again, I'm not even going to have to say it like that. It's going to be the underlying tone of the conversation because of how I've been treating him this whole time leading up to the negotiations. So that's a good one. So on that note, I'm going to end it right there. Appreciate everybody hopping in here. Going to likely hop on tomorrow and treat it as like a really, depending on what type of, let me finish this note. Gonna likely treat tomorrow as like a pretty big cold calling day. Went through a majority of my follow-ups. I didn't clear them all, but knocked it down to 12 left. And a lot of these aren't really like warm leads by any stretch of the imaginations, which is why I kind of skipped over them. But I'll definitely, give them a call. I'll probably kick all these out until next year. Nothing that these leads are going to make a decision on. I don't think, at least within the next 2 weeks. So going to probably hop on the dialer tomorrow and use tomorrow as a dial-in day. So appreciate all you guys hopping in here today. Saw a couple new names in here, which I love to see. Just a shout out AC Ringer. It's the first time I've seen you in here. Joey Rodriguez, appreciate you hopping in here. Joey's an agent down in SoCal. So if anybody has any leads down in SoCal, either retail or any way that you'd like to connect with Joey in terms of your real estate needs, go ahead and reach out to him. And from the mud, new subscriber, hopped in here early. Appreciate you jumping on here. So look forward to talking with you guys tomorrow. And until the next one, peace.